Looks like we've got an esteemed group of judges to help us tonight. I think show committee or committee of one has an announcement. Oh, you're gonna put on your badge. Good.
Yeah.
We know who you are.
Yeah, if you forget. So we have that next coffee shop show coming up in October. And now we're in August. That means that we have less than 2 months. So if you have something, Ed will graciously provide us with a gallery, just like we did with the last one. They have room for just about a dozen photos, so not a lot.
That's the photo.
So probably one or maybe two a piece, depending on how many people submit. But do get your entries in.
All right. Patrick, you want to tell us what I'm going to talk about next week or next month?
Next week.
It seems that.
So, yeah, Bill's talking next month. Just thought I'd let you know. We have no idea what Bill's going to talk about, but you know Bill. Bill will be up here
It'll be deep.
and he'll be
As
talking.
long as he knows.
Okay, now Bill will be talking about, he's continuing on a previous presentation that he did on digital asset management. So he'll be talking about a lot of things. It's actually with regard to Lightroom and how you can take care of getting your images in, out,
Okay.
and organizing properly. So, and then the following month, you get to listen to me and Mr. Interrante. And we will be talking about how to screw up every one of your pictures that you could ever do. You know, pick up your camera, jump up and down, you know, whatever, you know, multiple exposure, all the stuff that you were taught never to do. That's what we're going to talk about doing. So, all the fun stuff. And then the following month, and that would make it October,
A lot more.
Mark Lassad is coming in, and Mark is going to talk about bird photography. And I've asked him to make sure that he just doesn't put up, this is what I did during the summer, you know, kind of thing. So he promised me that he will actually talk about techniques that he uses, things of that nature. So it'll be more of a technical presentation on birding than it will be on, this is what I did during my summer break, you know, kind of pictures. There are some of you in here that understand who Henny Youngman was. Yes, click. This is how I am. Okay. Won't be that. Okay. And then,
I get no respect.
yeah, yeah. No, we're not doing that. Don't get no respect. Okay. And then November, we will be, everybody will get a DNG formatted image. So it's not going to be a Nikon RAW, or it won't be a Sony RAW. It'll be a DNG, which happens to have all of the information from the RAW file, but everybody can work it the same way as they would normally work their own camera files. And the idea will be, we've given all these different presentations during the year.
High tech.
Let's see what
Low tech.
the 30 or so of us who get these images, everybody's going to get it, but 30 or so, or hopefully everybody submits an image of what you can do with here. Everybody has the same one. Let's see what we get out of that. So, I mean, I may just, you know, push the sliders all the way over to the one side or the other and go, look what I did, you know. But that's the idea. And so that's where we're at. And then in December, the first, generally it's the first meeting. We have our potluck Christmas get together. Social.
Right here.
And we'll doing it right here. Whatever the first Tuesday or first Thursday of that month is. Right. So that's what we got on the program for the rest of the year. So I'm going to turn it back over. Oh, look, you already have a microphone.
Yeah, but you got a microphone.
Okay.
You have a microphone.
And you hear me? Okay.
Okay, let me get out of your way then.
All right. Clay Leben, Membership Coordinator, thank you for all being here. You're active members, you're participating in the club, and attendance is I think, the best way to get your money back for your membership. Anyone else who would like to get one of these nice t-shirts, you can get that from the website under organization. I believe it's the last option on the menu. They're not too terribly expensive. And Ed's also done some of the work to design this, but this is our club membership, or this is our club T-shirt. It's also a special privilege of mine to introduce to those of you who don't know him, Dennis Eisenberg, who's right here. He's one of our charter members. And he has been the host for us at our first meeting place. So we owe him a lot, and we're so glad that he's here tonight. If you have a chance to say hello to him, he's also a winning contest photographer. Even though he wasn't here at the meetings, he's got a stack of certificates. So talk to him about his photography. He'd love to meet you, I'm sure. And thanks for being members in our club.
One other thing, we have been invited to join APPA in an annual image competition. It will be held at Precision Camera. And
For all you,
everybody will have the same price to enter an image and to get a written critique. This year, they'll have 5 judges instead of just 3, which is the same judge panel that they would have for merit image review. They will also have a bunch more classes of images as far as what's presented to the judges. So they'll have wildlife, where it's real honest. You don't get to fool with the image. You don't get to flip it. The way you took it is the way you show up. There'll be master craftsman, where you are free to edit anything you want in it. There will be a reportage class, which is kind of motorsports or sports photography. I'll get, when it's agreed upon, what classes of images will be judged. And this is more about how the image is judged, not who you're competing against. But in general, you're competing for a score from the judges and nothing else in PPA. So we'll be judged by the PPA judges, and last year we just barely missed beating APPA in total points. So this year, we ought to make a real effort to beat the professionals. So Cody, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you and your team run this.
let's do it.
All right. All right, so I'll go through the images. And all right, cool. So the theme is minimalism. So we'll start with basic. We have 6 images. We'll run through them, and then we'll give you guys a chance to give your critiques. Okay, first up is, did I hear treats? Tall grass at the lake.
Love the game.
That's a lot different on that.
Bonding. Day's work is done. Sunlight and succulent.
Yeah.
Apothecary fault. Okay. Now we can jump into the critiques. So first up is, did I hear treats?
Okay, that was mine. So this is a real fun, engaging portrait, and really liked the way
Yep, to speak up
like
and project.
I must project. Okay, throw the mic. Okay,
Maybe this.
Can you hear?
In the back?
Doesn't seem very loud.
doesn't seem very loud.
Speaker in the back's okay. Just.
Is that any better?
There you go.
Oh, that's better. Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Kind of a fun, engaging portrait of a cat. I like the way the barrier or the curtain kind of obscures much of it, which really brings down some of the detail. It seems like it's more of an expressive portrait, kind of caught at a kind of a decisive moment with the tongue, not as focused on the minimalism theme. So I think that was a thing. I like the geometric, kind of it's symmetric. the light in the cat's eyes is very strong. I like the glint. And the color palette between the curtains and the tongue came out really nicely. So overall, I think that technically the image shows a lot of good attention to light. The fine edges around the ears are very nice, and they kept a nice little glow around them, which really helps define the subject, which is dark, against the curtains, which makes it pop very nicely with good catch lights.
Title's cute.
I'm sorry?
Title's cute.
We did definitely like the title. Did I hear a treat? It's definitely kind of providing a frame. And one of the things we talked a little bit more about this on this judging was kind of how does the title affect our perception of the image? And we thought this one really kind of nicely added to the image nicely.
Cool. Okay. Next, tall grass at the lake.
Okay, that's mine. And I said that at first glance, looking at this, you might say that the image was cropped up too high, and maybe you wanted to see what was down below to see if the creator made the right cropping choice, and also that the top part is a little too bright because the ends seem washed out. But then, and I started thinking about it, and it reminded me, particularly the top and the lower right and lower left. Thought, well, maybe he was trying to go for a Oriental type
Japanese.
picture instead of a realistic one. So we were playing around trying to crop it different, and it did make a big difference. I had said, well, if he could have found a spot maybe where there wasn't such a dense crop of reeds in the middle, maybe he could have played with that a little, but
And I had the left side. The left side was more interesting to the judges, and a vertical format, so that the large clump of grasses on the right side wasn't as interesting to those of us who looked at it. Anything else?
Yeah, I definitely think that there was a lot of interest in the lower left there, with just fewer leaves and kind of the more kind of curve and structure that seemed to really grab our attention.
Okay. Next, bonding.
Bonding, yes. I want to say for our basic class, we kind of expect or assume that everybody's basic, but we have a number of basic photographers in our group who really do a swell job. And in this case, we found the minimalism theme really carried out very well in this image. I've had some written comments that I'll draw on those, but and I want the other judges to talk as well. But this is a picture, an image with two people walking together on a wide open ocean beach, including the sharp details, the strong central focus, the moody black and white light and dark shades, the frozen action of the two people, and the emotional story suggested by the title, Bonding, really brings that out. And I felt that the image illustrated our minimalism theme very well. We only had one conversation with the judges where it may not be visible here. It is a little bit. There was some vignetting added around. If you look at the upper left and right corner, you'll see a fair amount of grain in the clouds. And we had some discussion about, could that be improved by smoothing it out? One judge said, no, I like it the way it is. So did we have any other constructive ideas for this person?
I think one other constructive idea is consider different crops here. One idea is to remove a good bit of the sky and bring the
Yes.
beach area up, so that it's really not as much about the sky and more about the beach where the two people are walking, and the looks like the father and son. Bring them a little closer. So we thought, as we played with that, it worked for a couple of us.
Yeah. And the sharp quality, the pose, that it stopped that motion and action of their poses. And and the title all help bring this out as a very likable image. Okay, good.
Day's work is done.
That's one that I'm going to talk about. So real, again, like the title really kind of helped frame how to interpret the picture. And it really helped us. One of the things that we were looking at as we're thinking about minimalism, like this has a formality to it. You've got the horizon line, it's low, it's straight across, and you've got the kind of core subject well past the third point in the corner there. So really like the kind of the structure to it. The sky has enough texture to be really interesting. And I like the muted palettes of the blues and grays and the clouds. It came through a little bit better on the monitors that when we were looking at it than we do here. And then the small amount of green of the tractor really kind of gave it a nice focus and brings your eye down with the horizontal line and then coming down to the tree. Really quite a really nice image. And I would like to see if there's any more, things in this kind of genre with this person, and if it maybe becomes a series or something around kind of making some more farm shots. Anybody else have some?
Yeah, we liked it.
No. Yep.
All right. Sunlight and succulent.
Okay. I think the artist had a good idea, but I was thinking that I would like to follow Gary's advice from the last session and in order to crop out some stuff to hone in on the subject. So personally, I mean, I would crop out the chairs from it, so that the focus would be on the plant, and
Even more.
pardon?
Even more.
Even more, yeah.
Yeah, with the frame.
And
Could be larger.
instead of having the plant, it looks like it's kind of in the middle of the picture, I would crop it a little bit too, so it was, probably over to the right where there's more of the sunlight. But the plant's in good focus, the color is nice. I think the black, white, and green match what I think is a minimalist criteria. So to me, it was a nice picture, but I just would have liked to have it cropped differently.
Okay. And apothecary falling.
This is an image of a clear glass apothecary jar suspended in space. The title says it's falling. Well, we can kind of get that from the image, but there's no real way to know for sure. It does appear to be a frozen action. The studio lighting is great. It's well exposed. It has a plain backdrop except for the expressionist diagonal lines. We thought that the minimalism theme was well recognized, and they did want to present a minimal theme picture. We did have some discussion at the judges' table about could we recommend something that would show that there was something imminent was going to happen with the fall. We suggest that the image maker could perhaps put something underneath with a table or something that it looks like it's going to break, maybe broken glass already, possibly, just to highlight the fact that this is a image that's frozen in action. And could there be more there? Of course, as it stands right now, it's a very good image. We like it. We just felt there could be some more, especially in comparison to the other images.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we can do the judge's choice. Okay, so we have 3 awards to give out. Third place is Sunlight and Succulent, Austin Lane.
Not here.
Next is Bonding by Pam Walker. Want to say something about your image?
Yeah, here.
I don't think they can hear you.
Hello, you got that? Father and son, surfing, last August at, Seabrook Resort on the Olympic Peninsula. And it was freezing cold in August, which is lovely. We had a great time. We need that.
Yeah. Nice, thank you. All right, and then first place is Day's Work is Done, Jerry Murphy.
Well, actually, it started out being real dark. And then it's
Okay.
lightened up.
And then we can do the People's Choice. All right. So we've got 3. Bronze is Tall Grass at the Lake, Clay Leben.
Thank you. Well, I took this at Lake Pflugerville, just on a kind of walk around the lake and looking for things to take pictures of. And this is when I asked for a high contrast in Photoshop, this is the kind of work that it gave me. But I appreciate the comments from the other judges about choosing a different prop.
And then silver is Day's Work is Done, Jerry Murphy. And then People's Choice Gold is Bonding, Pam Walker. Okay. Idiot. Oh. What do you use? All right, there we go. Okay, we'll do a quick run through of all the images. We have Memory of a Wetter Time, Diving Board, Basic Long Range Communication, Oblique Strategies, Living Water, Logan International Airport, Alone, Standing Leaf, Will You Be My Friend, Faded Palm, Hey, I'm bathing here, and Bisty Badlands, New Mexico. Critique. So we'll start off with Memory of a Wetter Time.
So on this one, I thought the kind of almost monochromatic color approach was really nice here. I think it is split toned, which really helped kind of accentuate some of the. I'm sorry.
A little bit louder.
I'm sorry. Well, louder. Got it. Speak louder. Got it. Sorry. It's almost a monochrome image with some split toning, which comes across really nicely, and strips away a lot of the extraneous elements from the structure of the image. Really, we're focusing on the form and the surface detail, which of the I guess I think this is an erosion pattern where there used to be water. Really liked, and we talked a little bit about this kind of the flowing structure of the different little crevices and everything. That just very intriguing to look at. A good bit of spatial awareness and kind of edge control where it's kind of tight, but we haven't kind of impacted the core part of the image, and the gradual softening from the detail in the lower part to a more softening where you really can't quite as strongly see the cracks in the ground, give you a sense of depth, which was really nice, and the way that kind of micro contrast was managed. Also reminded me of kind of leaves and the leading lines. So I kind of saw other elements in it. So I thought it was a really nice and enjoyable image where I spent a lot of time looking through it.
All right. Next, we have diving board.
Okay, I think this, technically it's good in that the colors are great, the insect is sharp and in focus. There's no distracting background, so the focus is on the insect. The one little bit distracting part for me was the the color of the leaf on the right side was kind of, I thought, a little bit too bright, so it's kind of leading my eye off to the right of the image. Um, um, we just didn't rank it as high as it could have been, because we thought it would look, I mean, it would rank high in the field of a nature or science category. Macro, yeah. As compared to other ones in the minimalist category.
Okay. Next is basic long-range communication.
So I like to kind of start out by saying that what I see, this image, and what we see is indeed a classic telegraph keypad and a hand poised to be using it. And the title fits the subject well. It's the basic classic kind of long-range communication. The image is sharp, so the viewer can appreciate the machine's details in the close-up, and the studio product lighting is well done and correctly exposed. There might be a tiny bit of suggestion, and maybe in terms of the upper part of the finger, in terms of it's a little bit light, maybe a little burning in on the thumb, and the top finger might add a little more contrast. You know, we also struggled with the fact that this was in the minimalism theme, and it doesn't have many qualities or characteristics of a minimalistic theme as we come to see it, with a lot of open space, a central subject, such as bonding, for example. So we just wish that the image had been one chosen for the minimalism theme that had more of those characteristics. Any comments?
Okay. Oblique strategies.
Okay, that's mine. Immediately, the lines captured my attention, along with the contrast between the black edges, the walls, and the background. So, I mean, I really liked overall. The only comments I had about things that I saw that would have improved it, and it's just tiny little things. I see, like on that horizontal line, a little white patch on the top of that line, and then over on the left side where you have the horizontal lines coming close to the lines curving down. I don't know. I would have kind of tried to clone in the black line to meet it, so that there wouldn't be that white space in between. And just because it feels to me like that would have made it more increase the continuity, you know, instead of having a little break there. I mean, those are picky little things, but
Maybe by shifting his angle and point of view, it could have worked differently, yes.
Okay. Next, we have living water.
So I think we thought this was kind of a wonderful kind of abstract composition. That really a number of curves here, starting with the lower dark area, the big yellowish area, and it echoed again at the top where the white is. It just really kind of makes a nice pattern. And as I ended up looking at this, I found that the minimal color palette worked very well. There's just a few colors here, but they feel very luxurious. They feel very, very rich. And each area has got its own little texture to it, which I thought made quite a nice image, and it adds a layer to it. The details are nice and subtle, and it provides kind of an abstract nature shot, which I really liked. I thought it was very captivating and really like this approach, and would love to see kind of more images in this style. I thought it was quite strong.
Okay, Logan International Airport.
Well, I thought this is a super interesting photo, but me and the others had trouble figuring out how this would qualify as a minimalist image. And we also had trouble figuring out how the title related to what we were looking at. You know, I mean, I could kind of make out parts of airplane wings on the left side. But it was hard. It was just hard to judge because we couldn't figure out how it fit in with the category. And another, you know, if it was another theme, you know, we might have graded it pretty high, you know, because it's really interesting, the colors and the
Detail.
I liked it, you know, but not for this theme.
Okay. Next is Alone.
Yes, this image, right away, when we see the title, it all comes together for us. It's an image of a seated man silhouetted against a slightly pinkish morning sky on a pale blue snowdrift. And the Alone title really helps us feel the emotion and story of this image. And it's I feel it's a very good example of minimalism with its open space, clear geometric kind of form, no real distractions from the central object. It's a great composition using that geometric curved snow. And we also appreciated the color palette to capture that early morning mood. And it just illustrated greatly so many of the minimalism theme that we liked it a lot. Any other comments? Oh, there was one comment from the judges. Of course, we'd like to have the guy maybe a little more silhouetted. Maybe we'd see his profile a little bit more instead of directly in the back. But that's a small suggestion.
One of the things I appreciated was the fact that you can see some white space between his arm and his body.
Oh,
And without that, I think it would have been much more like a blob. But by doing that, it gave us some structure to the person, just like in the bonded photo where the father and the boy were just kind of, their shapes were very nice, and you could see where their arms were close to each other. It's just interesting how much the arms matter in when you're showing a kind of a more abstracted person like that.
Yeah, a human definition.
Yeah.
clean definition, yes.
Cool, thank you. Next, we have Standing Leaf.
So I think this one really hits kind of the core concepts of minimalism, where you've got a really nice isolation of the subject and oak leaf against a kind of a sharp white negative space. The silhouette of the oak leaf provides it's a nice geometry to it. Again, we're talking about silhouettes that have a nice structure to them. The snow is more blank than I wish there was a little more texture or a little more surface. There's something that feels like I can see where I am. It feels very abstracted. I like the fact that it's over on the left, kind of pulling you towards what else is over on the right-hand side. And I was looking for just a little more detail someplace in the structure of the snow to help give my eye someplace to go.
Okay, next is Will You Be My Friend?
Okay. I thought the composition on this one was well done with the placement of the black rock and the red ball and all of the empty space around them. And the color contrast worked well. We had some discussion as I was wondering what it would have looked like with a slower shutter speed. if the water would have, had less definition, and so it would have made, the black and red objects, stand out more. But then, one said, well, he liked the little circle around the ball, which you had to use a faster shutter speed to capture that. So, it depends on what the image maker's intent was. But
The interesting title about "Will You Be My Friend" was somewhat clever in that it made us look twice at the image and think about the red round object and then the stone. So that was an interesting title to take it to a different kind of space and level. Right?
Okay. Next is Faded Palm.
And faded palm, well, that's what it is. It's a monotonal image. It's a palm leaf with diagonal lines that radiate from the central stem and a palm tree. So the faded palm title fits it well and helps us understand what we're looking at. There is a heavy white vignette all around the image so that the diagonal lines, disappear as they move outward. We appreciated that it has certain characteristics of a minimalistic theme, with some of those open spaces, the strong geometric, mostly the strong geometric shape that minimalism themes people appreciate. We only felt a little bit that the radiating lines converge on the stem, on the theme, on the central part there. And we had wished that there was more to see, something more interesting to see. So we just were left with the title, and that's what it is. And we liked it. We wish the photographer had worked a little bit more on maybe finding something that we could see in the middle of the picture. Any thoughts? Okay.
That's pretty well covered.
Next is, hey, I'm bathing here.
Another example of a title that kind of definitely talks to the image and not just descriptive of it. I think we found this a bit more of a character study in the world of animal photography. It looks like there's a real animal there with a personality and some opinions about how the world is going. And it felt a little more like that than towards where you might go with a kind of a minimalism. And possibly if you were trying to accentuate that, considering a crop that might have shown off just a part of this image, because there's a lot of interesting colors there, there's some structure there. There might be a more minimal image inside this one in a crop. But however, I thought that it was a kind of face on. We like the reflections, kind of overall quality of the image. Even though it was captured in kind of full daylight, we thought it kind of brought out the colors really nicely. The posture and intense eye contact are kind of right at the animal, provides a lot of intensity and kind of a clear narrative. So really liked it as a character study of animal portrait.
Okay. Then we have Bisty, Badlands, New Mexico.
okay, I thought this doesn't look so much on this monitor, but otherwise I thought it had realistic color. The rock was in focus, nicely in focus. I don't remember if we talked about the title. I mean, the title was pretty nondescript, just the Beastie Badlands. I mean, that's a whole big area. I wish it would have, made some kind of title, about, the rock in some fantastical way, because it is a strange looking rock. The
It's like a trophy. It reminds me of a trophy sitting on a pedestal. So somebody got an award here, maybe.
I mean, it is just one big rock with elements in it, but I didn't think it was, but it fit, again, it didn't fit the minimalistic criteria we were looking at or looking for. You know, you had the white and the blue of the clouds. So they're just,
All details.
to me, there were just too many elements in there.
Okay. Few awards. Judge's choice. So we have 5 here. So we have 2 honorable mentions and then 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place. So the first honorable mention is Will You Be My Friend, Arlie Pfeiffer.
So I got a new lens back then and I went to our local Mills Pond and was experimenting with it. And one of the things that I had seen in the definition of minimalism is that you can have a long distance or, you know, the telephoto really kind of worked with that. I just cleaned it up a bit and I thought it looked like that ball or whatever was coming towards the rock and you know, hence the title. So, you know, when I take pictures, I don't always think of a theme, but this one kind of worked for me. So thank you.
Okay, and the other honorable mention is Memory of a Wetter Time, Jim McDaniel.
This was another part of the Beastie Badlands. I was in June. After about 4 hours of walking around, taking pictures of all the rock formations, I started looking for something for this competition. So I found this dried out piece of desert there that I thought looked pretty interesting.
Cool, thank you. Okay, and then 3rd, we have Oblique Strategy. Strategies, Mark Interrante.
So this was on an architecture trip in Switzerland. This is a Frank Gehry building before he became famous. This is an industrial building that he did earlier in his career, and I was trying to capture just some of the lines that would be evocative of stuff that he did much later, like the Disney Symphony Hall and things like that, when he got pretty out there.
Cool. And in 2nd, we have Living Water, Lydia O'Neill. Okay, and then 1st, we have Alone, Leslie E.
Yes, sir. How about that?
I took this a couple weeks ago at White Sands, New Mexico, and it was sunset. And I paid the guy to sit on top of the deck. No, teasing. I did. Anyway.
All right, now we can do People's Choice. All right, in bronze, we have Diving Board, Dave DeVort. Yeah, you want to say something, Dave?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Let the people speak.
Here. Here.
All right.
Yeah. I'm in Springfield, Missouri right now on a road trip. So coming in long distance.
Okay. In silver, we have Oblique Strategies, Mark Interrante. And gold, we have Alone, Leslie E. All right, I'll go to advanced. Okay, we got 9 images. Caught in a Sticky Situation. 4 Bells, Washington County, 2026. The Soloist. Mosaic, One Day My Son, Of Gypsum and Light, The Shoreline Sprinter, I Belong to the Ocean, and Heavy Sky, Pure Earth. Okay, jump into the critiques. Start off with Caught in a Sticky Situation.
Okay, again, a really good title, wonderful title, helping kind of frame the situation that's here. Of the composition really hit the minimalism theme, and it's really quite challenging on macro subjects. The isolation and the really shallow depth of field with the wonderful tiny detail of the, I guess, the fly, the moth, suspended in this kind of vast negative space. But it's not empty because you've got a couple of the threads, the diagonal threads in both sides, really providing a lot of tension about what's going on, and the lines to the right kind of make me wonder like what's coming from the other side. So it gives a bit of a feeling of danger and of risk. The rim lighting makes the subject really pop really strongly off that. And I find I really like the inclusion of the second web line in the scene. Really overall, really a strong composition, and really liked it.
Okay. Next, we have Four Bells, Washington County, 2026.
Okay, I thought the objects are sharp, the colors are pleasing in a what I call it a farmy look.
Vivid.
Just the nice colors, and they blended well together. When I kept looking at it, my eyes would kind of tend to look at the one in the front left, and then go back to the ones in the right, and then it would kind of lead me off to the right. And so I was playing around, and I tried, how the people always talk about with birds, you want an odd number of birds in a picture. So I played and I cropped out the far right bale, and took a little bit off the sky, and then to me then it had more of a focus. It kept your eye on the page, and I mean I liked it before, and I liked it even better that way. So I mean I really liked it a lot. It was just that one thing that was kind of bothering me.
Yeah, when we did the crop, and having just the three, and then it kind of kept your eye in the image where there's just it didn't lead you out, whereas the three horizontals just kind of walk you out to the right.
We appreciated the minimalism in the photo, and that the maker was really working on that, telling a story.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have The Soloist.
What we have here is an image of a quite beautiful flower. It's a solo, and that's the title. And we can enjoy looking at this black and white image, enjoying the exposure. It's technically really excellent with focus in all parts, with the background blurred or softened, so there's nothing really to distract. And we appreciate that this is an advanced category of advanced class, and this picture really shows that effort, as do all the pictures in the advanced group here. We really have a great group of photographers. We appreciate the lighting, the soft highlights, and we were working with other images in terms of the minimalism approach. And this one had quite a lot of detail. It had quite a lot going for it, especially as a solo portrait, as a great image of a flower. It was difficult to place that with the other images. We wondered perhaps if a color adding some color to the image instead of black and white would have helped as well, just in terms of producing an image of the flower. Thanks. Do you have any other thoughts we talked about? I see something in the lower right corner I didn't see before.
Part of the stem, I think.
Yeah.
There's a stem. Okay,
Yeah.
there's stem down there. There's a little
Yeah, the
bit of
trees
a detail that
not
distracts
showing
us.
as well. Okay, next we have mosaic.
So this photo kind of operates at two levels, at the surface of the glass level and at the what might be a park-like scene in the background. And it's kind of abstracted. Kind of the dual layered image is very dense and very structured. Again, kind of not as good alignment with the theme as some of the other works. And on the other hand, you know, it's a very interesting view of a park-like area where the out of focus areas were very interesting patterns of light. I almost wanted to see it without the glass. You know, I wanted to see that kind of dreamlike parkscape just as is, and it'd be a nice color field. Me without my glasses on, and so that's just that's a very pleasant kind of view. But we just had a challenge with just the complexity of the image. It's quite detailed, and wasn't sure where we were supposed to focus our attention, and not telling the photographer or not telling the audience where we should be looking. Yeah.
Okay, next is One Day My Son.
Okay, just on initial, this one really sat well with me. I'm guessing it was from the Japan trip that those guys went on in January. Bright white snow with very little definition, contrasting with the sharp dark trees with no leaves is very dramatic. Having the little tree on the right balances the one on the left, and paired with the title creates a sweet story that really tugs at the heartstrings. A little bit of shadow below the larger tree just kind of adds a little more, I guess,
Context?
little content depth to the image. On this one, it looks like there's more definition, but on our screens there wasn't that much.
In the snow?
Yeah,
In the snow. Oh,
yeah,
there's some
no,
texture.
yeah, no, but I really like this one a lot.
Okay. Next is Of Gypsum and Light.
Another great image for the advanced category. We felt that, there's great use of color, soft light, a blended light, a certain amount of detail that helps us see the context in the sand dunes, as well as the clouds. It has lots of the minimalism theme elements. We appreciated that the photographer was going there. The title, Gypsum and Light, suggests colors, and it draws attention to the light. We focus our eye on the plant on the left, and we then our eye is free to go out and kind of roam the image, looking at the clouds and the texture. There's nothing particularly on the right, but the sculpture of the sand lets us realize that this is a very special place. The soft light, it gives us, the whole composition gives us one of calmness and appreciation for this open space. It's not crowded at all. We can really appreciate being there. There were no real distractions that we could pinpoint, and we just felt that the title was there a little bit to help us with the gypsum color, perhaps, or the materials. But we like this image.
Okay, next is the Shoreline Sprinter.
So this is mine. I thought the Shoreline Sprinter, the excellent execution of kind of a high key minimalism. the way the image has a very abstracted environmental, the background along the shoreline, which I think is what we've got, and the far edge sprinter making kind of go off and it coming off into the space into the left side really gives you a lot of room to apply motion and velocity. The capture of the bird in the stride with the feet lifted up really gives a sense of speed and of motion, really strong control of high key, which keeps the feathers and the nice contrast on the eye. It's just really quite a strong, clear capture, and I felt like it was very successful along that, especially kind of with the points of black with the eye, the beak, the feet, and the rear tail kind of bring a nice little contrast to the more gray center of the body of the bird.
Next is I Belong to the Ocean.
Okay. For me, this one has possibilities, and when I was looking at it, I was thinking that I would have liked to have been there to see what was going on. Because what did we decide that was? That jellyfish or whatever that is.
Couldn't tell. Yeah.
So we have that. We have the shadow going off to the left, and that line coming down to the bottom left from the jellyfish. That I thought that was a good working elements to go with, and then you have the little bit of the water with up on the top right that lets you know that you're at the ocean, but I'm not sure why they put everything so high up in the corner like that. The lower part doesn't really tell much in it, and to me it kind of looked out of focus. I tried to kind of do a 16:9 crop, to see how that looked, and it looked a little bit better. But the colors are great; the lines are great. I'm just not sure why it's so far up in the corner like that.
Okay, next we have Heavy Sky, Pure Earth.
So once again, in this image, we've got a maker who looked at the theme, studied the elements in the theme, perhaps went out and took this picture with the theme in mind, or they were able to look through their catalog of pictures and pick this one out, because we do find a lot of elements for the minimalism theme. The plant on the right, this pattern of grasses, the small plant on the left that helps us. First, we're drawn to the large plant and the detail, the sharp focus, all the technical aspects of this image are really great. We can see the details in all different parts. We can see the pattern in the sand, the dunes. We can see the clouds in the background and the sky. The interesting title, Heavy Sky, Pure Earth, suggests the dark sky and the white, pure earth. So that's an interesting title that they chose. In our discussion with the judges, we wondered about some of the fuzziness, the blur on the left and right, just along the clearly divided skyline. We did find that after looking at the plant, we kind of get distracted by some of those cloud patterns. In my personal opinion, I was wondering if some objects had been removed along the left and right and had been left so that the cloud you can see those dark shapes on the left and right. Not sure why they're there, but I just had a sneaky suspicion, since I do it all the time in my photos. I remove objects, and make it clean. So we'll have to hear from the maker if that was something that they were wanting to clean the image up in post-processing. So really, we did find a lot to like in this image. We really appreciate it. The judges discussed, it was very difficult to choose the final ranking in this class. And so we had a lot of discussion about, does this go here? Does this go there? They were all good.
I just want to say one thing that I really enjoyed was the ripples in the lower part of the sand lead you right up to the plants and the structure. So it's leading you right into that. I thought that was really well done. Whereas easily could have been more blown out and you wouldn't have noticed it, but seeing there really added a good bit to it.
All right. Go to the judges. Okay, so we have 4 awards. First is honorable mention, 4 Bells, Washington County, 2026. That's mine. So thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one actually. So I wasn't sure what to shoot, and I started looking online to find inspiration type stuff. So I found this photographer, Franco Fontana, and so he's like this Italian photographer from in like the 70s, and he shot all these landscapes in Italy that were these real minimalistic, really vibrant colors. And I caught my eye. I was like, I really like this. So I thought, okay. So then I was driving to Houston like 2 or 3 weeks ago and thought, okay, so I drove all up north to 290 and I was up on some weird, random road, and I drove by and it caught my eye, and I went around and it was like a farm, and they had these hay bales. I'm like, this is cool. So I set my tripod up and, I had a telephoto lens for the minimalism thing. And, yeah, I thought it came out pretty cool. So, but I'll try with the crop to see if it.
Oh, so you thought that was an okay suggestion?
Yeah, I'll try it out and see. Yeah, like I have multiple shots of different, sets of hay bales, and there's a tractor off on this side, I think, and so different things like that. But this is the one that I really like the best. But I'll play with.
One nice thing about the 3 would be that it makes a triangle.
Yeah,
and that would sort of contain it.
Yeah, that's fair. So anyway, lots of fun with that one. So thank you. All right, and in 3rd place, we have One Day My Son, Nick Grossman.
Thank you. This was predictably taken in Hokkaido in Japan in January, wading thigh deep in snow. There was no shortage of minimalist topics, and this one certainly caught my eye.
Okay, and then in 2nd, we have Heavy Sky, Pure Earth, Cheryl Callan.
I had a lot of mythical pictures to that.
Okay, so all I gotta say is the smeariness in the back is rain. It was really, really dark skies. She was there. She saw it. I didn't touch anything. I didn't even have to clone anything out. The sky was pitch black.
That's cool.
Okay, and then in 1st place, we have Of Gypsum and Light, Gary Hook.
I knew it was rain. Yeah, this was taking a trip to White Sands in June, and we had lots of fun skies as well. You can see there's lots of rain in the background here with the sun coming through. Lots of great light that night. But yeah, White Sands, highly recommended.
Okay.
All right, then we'll do People's Choice. Okay. In bronze, we have Heavy Sky, Pure Earth, Cheryl Callan. In silver, Of Gypsum and Light, Gary Hook. And gold, One Day My Son, Nick Grossman.
Fantastic.
That's it. Anything else to
you
guys want to say?
Pretty darn close.
It was really great set of images. I definitely think that we really liked the titling, and just like continue to explore titling. The ones that really had something to say really helped us frame what the photographer was trying to say. And so appreciated those really a lot.
Yeah. What's our next theme?
It's open.
Who knows? Open.
And I need 3 judges. So if you want to judge, come see me, please. Otherwise, I'll have to do the whole email and search for people. So
yeah,
it's very helpful.
And I want to say, this my first time this year judging. I've judged in past years. It really is a nice process to help you go through and examine what your thoughts are about pictures. You meet several days ahead of the contest. We went to Victory Tap and had a good time before the rest of the group showed up for their social. And so we just recommend that you give judging a try. Whatever class you enter, you can't vote for your own image, and you can be mum about your image when the others want to say good or bad things. But it's with Gary, I want to thank Gary for his effort in being our neutral kind of discussion leader. So the three of us were able to relax and talk, and get called on. If somebody was being too quiet, Gary would ask us a new question about the image. So really, the judging experience is quite nice. If you can do it, please do it. And you might get $100 at the end of the year because we have a lucky draw for Precision Camera. Yep.
Cody, thank you, sir, for making this happen. Ed, thank you for getting the videos together for us. It's truly appreciated. It makes us different than most of the other organizations. Judges, thank you, thank you.